Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Shabbat Shalom, everybody who is joining us on stage. So glad to welcome you all. If you are just coming in, please feel free to grab some chairs and just sit where you would like. This is like 100 times longer than I thought it was. We're going to begin by calling the copies. Right? You get copies today? Yeah. Oh, cool. That's neat. Right, that comes back. We're going to open our service this evening with Or Jaguna. Final words on the subject. Words are not from thee. Please relax me now. Words are not from thee. Please relax me now.
No, there's no sound. I don't know how to turn off original sound. Microphone, stereo, that's supposed to, audio is supposed to be. That's what the Samsung Go mic, that's what it's supposed to be. That's what it's supposed to be.
It's not fun, but glad that you are all here. This next piece is called Elohai Nitzor. It is a prayer that we offer towards the end of the Amidah. It is a prayer about asking God to help us manage our tongues, the things we say, the things we should say, and the things we shouldn't say. Which can be found in the supplement.
Elohai, Elohai, Nitzar li shoni meira, Nitzar li shoni meira, usvatai midaber merma. Guard my tongue from evil. Guard my tongue from evil, and my lips from deceitful speech. Zelim kalai nafshi tidam. V'lim kalai nafshi tidam, v'nafshi ke'afar lakol tiyeh. To those who curse me, let my soul be silent. To those who curse me, let my soul be silent. To those who curse me, let my soul be silent. Let my soul be to all like the dust. Elohai, Elohai, Petach libi b'toratecha, Petach libi b'toratecha, uv'mitzvotecha tidov nafshi.
So we are about 5 weeks away from Rosh Hashanah, which is strange, considering how not late in the summer it is. But nonetheless, we start this process, we start this practice, we start this refocusing on the themes of the holy days. And what better way to do that than to have Hannah here with us from New York, She and I did some rehearsing today. She's going to be spending time with our pianist tomorrow, and in preparation for coming back for Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. So in the vein of beginning to move us, at least our minds and our hearts towards that time period, for these words, a prayer for direction. Adonai, please teach me how I can heal both myself and those around me. Help me choose the path that I am to walk and guide my footsteps so I will not stray. Show me where I am needed, for that is where I want to be. Though I sometimes may desire to take the easiest route, help me to understand that boulders in the path can be part of my growth. Though I may make mistakes, help me to accept criticism and correction, and turn me from temptation, lest I stray from a holy path. Give me strength, Adonai. Help me rediscover my health, happiness, and life. Protect me, sustain me, and help me feel both satisfied and full of healing power. So next week, we'll actually be able to use real fire. But in this place, we can only use electronic. So. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu le'adikner shel Shabbat. We continue with Lachadodi, page 4.
La 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 Lachadodi, la 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 Ligrakala, la 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 Pnei Shabbat Nekavela, Likrat Shabbat. Bidibur echad, ki ishme'alu el hamiuchad, Adonai echad, u'shmo echad, l'shemo tiferet v'lithalal, la 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 l'chadodi. La 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 Ligrakala, la 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 Pnei Shabbat Nekavela, Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, ki hamakor ha'oracha Rosh Mekedem Nesucha Sof Ma'asher B'machshava Techila La 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 Lechadodi La 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 Ligrakala La 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 Pnei Shabbat Nekavela Boi v'shalom Ateret bala Gam b'simcha U'tzola Toch emunei Am seula Boi chala Boi chala La 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 Chadudi, la 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 Likrakala, la 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 Penei Shabbat Nekadala.
And we continue with Baruch Hu. Page 6.
Ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la. Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? La la la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed, le'olam va'ed. Ya la la la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la.
Psalm 22. Number my days this way. O Lord, number my days this way. Days of strength to lie, if the truth brings torment. Days of weakness, if strength gives rise to suffering. Days of noise, if silence is the cause of loneliness. And nights of disconcerting dreams, if I turn smug to the taste of hunger. Pursue me, discomfort me, destroy my own complacency with paradox and contradiction. Remind me, I am yours. We continue with Ahavat Olam. Page 7. Page 8.
Ahavat Olam, Beit Israel, Amecha ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, Chukim u'mishpatim. nehege yomam v'layla.
You know, I want my mind and my heart to learn something that I just keep forgetting, but I keep having every reason over and over to have learned it by now. I got so anxious. I'm not really an anxious person, but I got so anxious this afternoon with the CDC and the new reports and whether we should gather, whether we shouldn't gather. And then the rain was just pouring, like bathtubs worth, and I was like, forget this. And, you know, and Natalie was like, what? What's the problem? Like, well, then I had like, she said, people will wear masks. And if they don't feel safe driving in the rain, they won't. Like, okay. But I got so wound up. And then you walk in here, and you're here. And there's this great phrase in Hebrew we say, im atapo kulampo, which means if you're here, everybody is here. Because that's all that matters in this moment. So you are all here. And it feels so wonderful. We continue with Shema and Ve'ahavta.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kavod, Shem Kavod, Malchuto, Leolam, Leolam Va'ed.
Page 11.
And thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, with all thy soul, and with all of thy might. And all these words which I command you on this day shall be in thy heart, shall be in thy heart, and thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children, and thou shalt speak of them when thou sittest in thy house, when thou walkest by the way, and when thou risest up, and when thou liest down, and when thou liest down, and thou shalt bind them for a sign upon thy hand, and they shall be for frontlets between thine eyes, and thou shalt write them on the doorposts of thy house, and upon thy gates, and upon thy gates, that ye may remember and do all of my commandments, and be holy,
invite you to share your simchas, your good news. And it looks like Jean Bagleton has one. Jean?
Thank you very much. Yeah, I left my office early in Chinatown because it was stormy and the streets were flooded. I wanted to make sure I got here on time because I invited all my kids to come tonight and here and everything. But my two boys are doing the family commitment of the food on moms to help some other people right now that are in distress. But my daughter from China this year, Wayne Wu, Dr. Wayne Wu, did a wonderful program back in 2020 at the Red. We're going to do again someday. So how you found out her Hebrew name is Esther.
Oh, nice. Are there others who'd like? Yes, Holly.
It is my friend Cheryl Rivette.
Yeah?
Birthday tomorrow.
It's Cheryl's birthday. But is she on Zoom right now?
Not on Zoom, but I bet she's on YouTube.
Oh, that's right. She's probably on YouTube. Well, we're going to have to sing to her. Are there other birthdays in the room? People that you want to shout out birthdays for? No? All right, so it's just Cheryl. Okay. Yeah. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Cheryl. Happy birthday to you. Are there others? Anybody? Simchas? Anybody? No? Well, I'm going to share one. Natalie and I successfully got back from being out of town. We were, it's a long drive from Madison, Wisconsin to Houston, Texas. It is a really long drive. It is longer than you ever envisioned. It's like still going. Like you get in Texas and it just goes and it goes. But Abraham has moved in. And what? Are you playing the world's smallest violin? Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, thank you. He's moved in and he's starting work on Monday, and he is, I would say he's been launched. So very, very happy about that. Well, if we have nothing else, Rabbi Nachman of Bratslav wrote, "Teach me, God, to live out my days focused on all that is meaningful in life. As unaccountable aches and pains multiply, as memory and retention fade, teach me to relate to my physical existence with an ever-expanding recognition of its transient nature. Teach me to relate to my soul with an ever-expanding awareness of her eternal nature and ageless worth." Please rise for Amidah. page 15. And Hannah's going to be leading us in a version of Adonai Sifatai that we've sung a couple of times. You're going to be hearing during the High Holy Days, and it's the words that can be found on the supplement sheet. And I think they really channel the words and allow them to carry you into this prayer.
You are blessed and you are holy. You are blessed and you are praised. You are blessed and you are faithful to the ones who praise your name. You are kind and you are healing. You are cleansing of my soul. You are loved and pure and gracious. You are real and make me whole. Adonai Sfatai Tiftach Ufi Agita Hilatecha. Open my lips for your praises, they'll show through your graces. Open up my lips. Open up my lips. You are wise and you are sparing. You are merciful and clear. You are utter perfection, no more wrong directions. I'm loved and I am here. Adonai Sfatai Tiftach Ufi Agita Hilatecha. Open my lips for your praises, they'll show through your graces. Open up my lips. Open up my lips. Open up my lips. Adonai Sfatai Tiftach Ufi Agita Hilatecha. Open my lips for your praises, they'll show through your graces. Open up my lips. Open up my lips. Open up my lips.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak v'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah Ha'el HaGadol HaGibor v'Hanora Elohei Gomer Chasadim Tovim Vekonei Hakol Vezocher Chasdei Avot V'Imahot Umevi Geulah Livnei Bneihem Leman Shemo Be'ahava Melech Ozer U'Moshiach U'Magen Baruch atah Adonai Magid Avraham Bezrat Sarah אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, מחכה חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו, לשני עפר. מי כמוך בגבורות ומדמך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה.
ונאמרת הכל, ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל.
אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יעללוך סלע. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש. Please be seated. At this time in our service, we call to mind and to heart the names of people whom we are thinking of who are in need of healing and wholeness. I invite you, if you would like, to stand where you are seated. And if you would like to mention some of these names of people aloud who you are thinking of. Once you have mentioned their names aloud, then I'll ask you to be seated once again. But please rise if you would like to mention names of people. And all those who are named in our Zoom chat, those of you who are watching via Zoom, we welcome your prayers as well. We sing together this prayer for healing, page 23, Mishabera.
מקור הברכה לאמותינו. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. מקור הברכה לאבותינו. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say,
I have a few announcements. First of all, Hannah Madeleine Goodman is here. Very happy about that.
Thank you.
And next Friday evening, we will be, drum roll please, at First Unitarian Universalist Church once again. Starting next Friday, we will be back in our regular, as regular as CSK gets, regular routine of either First UU for Friday night or the Murfish. August 6th and 13th, we'll be at First UU. August 20th, we'll be at the Murfish. 27th, I think we're at First U. Anyway, it'll be on the calendar. It'll be almost every other Friday, one or the other. What? No. First U, the one in the museum district, the one on Fannin. Right. So really excited to get back to that. Next Friday evening, Jonathan Goldstein will be here to lead us in music. High Holy Days information and registration will be up on the website as of this Sunday, August 1st. We have been working really hard to make sure that all the information is correct, or at least as correct as it can be, given the unclear status in which we are all living. But the information will be up there on the website as of August 1st. And on Thursday, August 12th, there's a program called Better Together that is going to be from 6 to 9 p.m. It's a citywide 50s and 60s Jewish singles event taking place at Pinstripes, which is on 3300 Kirby. Look at the emails for information. And then this is going to come as a surprise to Holly, because I always try to keep one thing in my back pocket, to surprise her. So I'm offering a class, which I just forgot to talk to you about. But it'll be online via Zoom. Rabbi Laura Scheinkoff and I will be offering it on 4 Sunday nights in August as a way to engage in the month of Elul. The Elul, which is the month leading up to Rosh Hashanah. Each week, we will spend about half an hour, 40 minutes on Zoom with those who join us to dig into one of the main texts of the High Holy Days. So by the time the month is up, you'll have gone in depth into 4 of the texts for the High Holy Days, so that when you are diving into the prayer book, that it's something that you're even that much more familiar with. The themes, the traditions, the rituals behind it. We're going to invite your feedback, and the title of the class is Texting in Services. Thank you very much. I'm here all night. So I want to share with you a little bit about Moses and Aaron tonight. So the Torah portion is Kitetse. And Kitetse is it's one of the many Torah portions of the book of Deuteronomy, excuse me, which is basically a second telling of the Torah. So the book of Deuteronomy is basically Moses' retelling of Exodus, Leviticus, and Numbers. And when you retell a story, when you're 40 years older than you were when it began, and for Moses, he was about 119, sometimes the fish get bigger, right? Sometimes details, especially those that might reflect poorly on you, you kind of forget about as you emphasize, others in the story who did things, wrong or whatever. And you see that through the book of Deuteronomy. As Moses is retelling the story, there are certain things that fall out, or certain things that are magnified that might have been not such a big deal at the moment. But I want to start with this tradition in Judaism, which I'm sure most of you are familiar with, which is that in traditional synagogues, when you're having aliyot, when you're having people come up to the Torah, there's supposed to be an order. First, it's supposed to be a Kohen, then a Levite, and then an Israelite. So a Kohen is someone who can connect themselves to the high priesthood, which is the group of Levites that God claims as the high priests in the Torah. And they are the children of Aaron. Then there are the other Levites who aren't directly descended from Aaron. And then there are the Israelites, which is everybody else. And there's this tradition. So why is it that we have this in the first place? Because think about it. So much of the book of Genesis, what's it all about? It's about upending heredity. It's about upending inheritance or inheritance by who is the eldest, right? I mean, there's this thing running through the book of Genesis, which is you don't get to be in charge just because you were firstborn or just because you are so-and-so's child. No, there's a certain amount of meritocracy that is built into the book of Genesis and even into the book of Exodus, but at some point gets replaced by this notion of heredity, that only the child of a Kohen can be a priest, a high priest in the ancient temple of old. And it seems like, it seems odd given Judaism's character. So, how did this happen, right? So, the rabbis teach that maybe this happened because of the golden calf. So the tradition is that the Israelites gathered around and they built this golden calf. And then there is this point at which Moses comes and he speaks to the Levites. Well, he declares, "Thus says the Lord, those who are with the Lord come with me." And the Levites come and they follow him. And then he says, "Now I want you to take up sword against your neighbor and against even maybe brothers and slay those who participated in the golden calf, in the building of the golden calf." So ostensibly, these group of Levites didn't, and they did. The Torah says that they killed 3,000 in that moment. And so one of the ways of this interpretation is this was God's reward to them for having been so zealously loyal. But, there is a little bit of a problem with this. What's the problem with this? What's the problem? The Levites are the ones who are recognized as the ones who didn't participate in the building of the golden calf. And the Levites are part of a clan headed up by Aaron. Who built the golden calf? Aaron. He doesn't even shy away from it. Right? In this Torah portion, when Moses is describing what happened, Moses says, "Oi." He doesn't say "oi," but "Oi." God was so upset with Aaron. God was so upset. God was so distraught about Aaron. But Moses says, "I prayed on his behalf and he was forgiven." But then Aaron doesn't shy away from it either. He indeed says, he tells them what he did. I asked them to bring me their gold, and then I threw it in the fire, and thus. So he doesn't take full responsibility, but still, he says he asked for it, he took the gold, he put it in the fire. He's the one who decided this was apparently a good idea. So why is it then? I mean, do we really believe that the Levites, the Kohanim, get this special status because they were so zealous for the Lord that they killed? Well, one would ask that question, especially in this week's Torah portion, because as Moses is recounting the story of what occurred, Moses includes almost every point except one. Moses just, leaves out, right? Just between us, let's just leave out the part about how he said, "Thus says the Lord, who is with the Lord, take up sword and go kill," right? Moses doesn't mention that. Moses wants to leave that out. Maybe because, he's 40 years older. Maybe he's got a little bit more maturity. Maybe he thinks, this isn't the way, this isn't what I want to be remembered, because it's going to have an impact on the stories that are told into the future. And even Rashi, so 2,000 years later, Rashi challenges Moses and he says, Where was that written? It doesn't ever, there's no place in the Torah where the Torah says, thus said the Lord, or it never says God told Moses to tell the Israelites to take up sword against each other. So this is kind of like an ad lib of Moses. But what this leaves is maybe there's another reason why the Kohanim are the ones who are supposed to be first in the order of the aliyot, the ones who are first called up. Like, what is special about them? And the rabbis come full circle and they say, you know what? It might be precisely because Aaron facilitated the building of the golden calf. It might actually be that. Because why? Because what was Aaron doing in that moment? He was trying to fend off scared, anxious, terrified people who had only ever known slavery. As far as they knew, they'd always been slaves. The Torah teaches us for 400 years. According to the Torah, that's at least 10 generations. How many of us know anything about our family from 10 generations ago? Right? So Aaron understands these people are frightened, and for good reason. What do they say to him? They say, we don't know where that guy Moses went. We're scared. He went up to a mountain. For all we know, he got eaten. We don't know if he's coming back, and we're frightened. And so Aaron recognizes there's no talking to them about this. Aaron's going to need to give them something that will tide them over, that will maybe build a bridge to tomorrow. And so what does Aaron do? Aaron builds the golden calf, and he says to them, to people of Israel, this is your Elohim. This is your God. Elohim is more of a generic word. But then Aaron follows it up with, Machar, tomorrow, Chag Ladonai. Chag meaning, like we say, Chag Sameach to each other. Chag means a holiday, it's a pilgrimage festival. Moses says to them, Machar Chag Ladonai. Tomorrow will be a festival to Adonai. So in this moment, to try to create some comfort, to try to give them a little bit of a bridge to get from here to there, Moses gives them something that is familiar, that is comfortable for them, and then they're able to see beyond tomorrow, or beyond this moment into tomorrow. And so maybe that's why they say that Aaron was committed to life mipnei darchei shalom, for the sake of peace. That's why Aaron did what he did. Aaron would try to engage in conflict if necessary, avoid the conflict if necessary, for the sake of peace, for the sake of health, for the sake of community. So perhaps that's why it's appropriate that a Kohen is asked first, then a Levite, then an Israelite. But we Reformed Jews, we don't do that. We threw that out a long time ago. We said there is no difference amongst the people of Israel. We are all Israelites. Why? Because of what the Torah said. What is our mandate? What does God say to all of us? Forget about what God may or may not have said to Moses. What does God say to us? That you shall be a kingdom of priests and a holy people. God is saying to each one of us, be a Kohen. Rise to the occasion. It's not about heredity, and it's not about what you've earned in any particular moment. It's about how are you going to act when the opportunity presents itself. Will you act like a Kohen, or will you shy away from the invitation to step into the aliyah, into the moment of rising to the occasion? So Moses, we learn, is our prophet. He's the one who leads us into battle. He's the one who stands up against Pharaoh. He's the loud one, the strong one, the powerful one. But Aaron's job was to be a priest, was to be a presence, was to be someone who invited us into God's space and created bridges so that we could see from this moment into whatever tomorrow makes possible. Shabbat Shalom. Yes, sir. I'm so glad to hear that. Neither did I. Oh, I think you're probably right. I think we could use a lot more Aarons. You know, maybe a few less Moseses. Yeah. Would you all please rise for our lady? Page 24. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol,
לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגאל עלינו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר היה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
At this time in our service, we call to mind those who are no longer with us, who have passed away at this time or in years past. And I invite you to rise, and then I will invite you to mention names of people whom you are remembering. And once you have mentioned their names, I invite you to please remain standing.
This week we remember Senator Carl Levin and Dustin Jones.
Carrie Robinson and Wayne Graves. Zichronam livracha, may their righteous memories be a blessing. We all rise with you. Page 26. Yikadash Shmei Rabbah, Be'alma divrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yamechon v'chayei l'chol Beit Yisrael, b'adalah v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam u'le'amaya. Yiparach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shmei Kudsha Brichu. Leila Minkol Birchata v'Shirata. Tushbechata v'Nechemata. Damiran be'ama v'imru amen. Yehei Shlomo Rabbah min Shemaya. V'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. V'seh shalom u'mamav. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. And in a moment, we're going to sing it together, Adon Olam. But if it's all right, I can mention it, right, John? Yeah, great. So what's going to be passed out to you, because we're trying to keep everything very clean and hygienic. We're not doing challah tonight. But Joan Reichstein in honor of Hannah Madeleine Goodman being here. Joan made awesome, delicious mandel bread and packaged it up in little packages. So you can, we can all partake of it. That is what we will use for our motzi. Oh, and strudel, sorry, mandel bread and strudel. So before we get that point to the kiddush and the motzi, so don't start eating yet. Adon!
Adon olam asher malach b'terem kol yitzir nivra le'nasa v'chefzor kol aznai melech shema nikra be'adon afkid ruchi beiti shem ve'ayira ve'im ruchi gvi'ati Adonai li velo ira.
I'm going to offer kiddush on behalf of all of us tonight. I encourage you to go home and open a bottle yourself. Don't finish it. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei b'riyat ha'ofen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kishor mitzvoto ve'rotza banu. Shabbat Kodshu, ve'ova uvratzon, binchilanu, zikaron l'maaseh b'reishit, ilu yom tefillah, le'mikro'e kodesh, zecher tzion Yisrael, kivanu v'charta, ve'tanu kidashta, mikol ha'amim, Shabbat Kodshecha, Ve'ahava u'ratzon, Idchatani, Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. L'chaim. So we're going to do two blessings, because we have a challah up here, and then you have something that we're going to say a blessing over something that's sweet. So first we'll do this. What am I doing? And Jonah made the challah. It's gorgeous. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Now we say the blessing over something sweet. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Now repeat it to me. Borei, minei, mezonot. Enjoy. Shabbat Shalom.